But actually, when you see the picture, the historical picture, this is not like Islam, which then you can go into the Quran to show it as a false religion, historically speaking.
How would you do that?
Take the statements there. We crucified the Messiah. No, we crucified the Messiah, son of David, Jesus, son of David, something like that. But they did not. They crucified him not. It only appeared to them to be so. But it's absurd to have out of the mouths of the Jewish leaders them saying they crucified the Messiah. They regarded him as a false claimant. If they thought he was the Messiah,
I don't think it says we have crucified him. I think it says they.
No, they quote him. We crucified the Messiah, but they crucified him not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, I agree. That would be an absurd statement for a Jew to make.
Yeah. So, because obviously they believe in the Messiah. But it's because the Quran is anachronistic. The writers of it, and I don't attribute it to Muhammad, that's to me too facile to say that. He's a major figure in the whole business, whoever he was.
Is there any evidence from textual studies that the Quran was written by multiple authors?
Well, there's work being done to suggest that what lies behind it are Christian Syriac hymns.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah, and it doesn't just appear out of thin air or out of the angelic mouth.
Yeah, I think you've suggested that Islam is a Gnostic heresy.
Well, I wouldn't go that far because that would narrow it down too much. We've got in Arabia at the time Christians who are Aryans, Christians of different stripes, because the Byzantine Empire was using Arabs, as was the Sasanian Empire, as their mercenaries to fight the respective empires. And so the influence of Christianity and the fire worshippers, the Zoroastrians, was significant in Arabia. So that's one of the reasons you get lots of versions of Christianity there. So I would say that it's a whole mishmash of belief systems, many of them pseudo-Christian. But it's not coming out of thin air. It pre-exists Muhammad. The Quran pre-exists Muhammad, but it is developed. And why shouldn't that be the case? Unless you accept the accounts of how it's made. But the accounts of how it's formulated are problematic because it talks about those companions who remembered it. Some of them died, and some of the verses died with them. And then there's different collections, different numbers of verses. So really, it points to a Quran which is messy, which is not actually given by the angel Gabriel, transmitted by Muhammad, eventually gets written down, and there you go. And of course, for Catholics, this is where Catholicism is more historical. We say the church comes first, because Jesus establishes the church. The writings come gradually, over time. But there need never been a single writing, never need to be a single text of the New Testament. Of course, we'd be, I think, in a strange world if there never had been, but the church was what Jesus established. We'd have the sacraments, and the word would be written. What would happen is, accounts of Jesus would be written down here and there, and it would all be written into the Mass, into the lectionaries and so on. But you see how it's an historical process, a real historical process, not a magical process, where an angel comes down in the manner of the Mormons. An angel comes down to Joseph Smith and gives him the Book of Mormon.
So are you, what do you make of Sola Scriptura?
Well, it is intrinsically, it is the RSV, RSV, which is based upon the King James version. So ultimately you're right. But it's got all the Catholic bits in it. There are, no Bible is perfect, and this isn't perfect, but it's perfectly handy for its size. So that's actually why I use it.